Let us understand the working nature of Naive-Bayes algorithm using a simple simulated example. I have here today I have simulated the COVID-19 data set just for our personal use. I took fever, tiredness, cough, and breathing problem to be the input attributes, and the presence or absence of the virus to be the output attribute today. Okay? So, and these are the values that fever can take: low, high, and moderate. Tiredness could be yes or no, cough could be yes or no, breathing problem also yes or no. Why? Based on these parameters, the presence is being calculated. Presence indicates whether the patient is infected with corona or not. Okay, it takes two values, yes or no, and hence the class is binary, right? So we are interested in this Naive-Bayes formula. P of x given y is equal to P of y given x into P of x given y is equal to P of y given x into P of x divided by P of y. Okay. So what it states? So actually we are interested to find P of x given y, meaning that whether the patient is infected with the disease or the virus given some condition, like the condition could be fever or the value of tiredness or the value of cough or the value of breathing problem. So what X represents, it is nothing but the class labels which belong to your output variable. What is Y? It is nothing but the type of values or the different values that your input attribute will take. For example, at one time Y may be low, at one time it may be high, third time it may be moderate, considering fever as your attribute. What is X? It is nothing but the presence or absence, the values that the output column will take. Okay. Now, this is going to be calculated based on three probabilities. Let us first understand what is P of X. P of X, we call it as your class probability, right? Because X is nothing but the class label on your output attribute, right? So, how many, for example, if you want to check the presence when X is equal to S, P of X states how many patients are infected with corona. Okay, so if X is equal to no, it is on the other case. How many doesn't have affected with corona? Then coming to this P of Y. What P of Y states? It is the probability of having that particular value on this attribute column. For example, if Y is equal to low, okay, when fever is considered as an attribute, how many patients on the history or on the data set has the fever value as low? Okay, that is given by this. It is called as your predictor probability or your input attribute probability. Then this our P of Y given X is the likelihood. Likelihood means from the past history, how many evidences you have that when there is low fever, okay, the person was infected with corona. So Y is nothing but the value taken from the input attribute. X is nothing but the class label, right? This is the likelihood, how many case histories we have. Now, why Naive-Bayes is said to be more powerful and very fast algorithm? Because P of X and P of Y once calculated, you can reuse it any number of time, and it's all simple numerical operations that doesn't need, and hence doesn't need too much of mathematical and power operations, and hence it is very simple and it's quickly you can get the result. Okay, now come how the P of X gets calculated. See, when the class label, on to look at the class label, you have only two values, yes or no. How many yes are there? 7 patients are infected with the virus, so it is 7 divided by 11. So 4 is not infected with the virus and hence it is equal to 4 divided by 11. Okay, so that's it. And coming to each and every attribute, let's take every attribute separately. I'll explain fever. The similar cases for tiredness, cough, and this is breathing problem. Yeah. So now looking at the fever, what are the different values that fever will take? So it takes three values: high, moderate, and low. And the class label could be yes and the class label could be no, and hence the values get repeated twice, right? Now how to find this probability? When this is the likelihood, right? When the fever is high, how many are infected with yes? So just let us sort this database, the data set. So I'll sort first based on your fever and then based on the second level based on your presence. Now you see when the fever is high, how many are infected with the virus? It is 4, and hence this value is equal to 4 by 6. When the value high, the fever is high, how many doesn't have? It is 2. So high, no value, it is 2. In a similar way, when the fever is very low for a patient, the value is 1. So and hence it is low. You see, it is 1 divided by 3, and low, no, it is 2 divided by 3. When it is moderate, both the patients have the history of disease, and hence when it is moderate, the value is 1, and when no, for no, it is 0. In a similar way, the next attribute tiredness will be taken, sort this data set, hence calculate the probability for cough and breathing too. Okay. Now once having calculated all these things, now if a new data comes in, how the system will predict. Now a new patient comes, let's assume his fever value is low, whether he has tiredness. Yes, he is feeling very tired and he is having cough. So yes or no, what do we mean? We have a threshold value of that many number of coughs per minute. When it crosses, we say it is yes or no. Okay, so it depends on how we interpret the data set. That's it. Breathing problem is there? Yes. Now, what to do? How the naive Bayes will work? You just have to calculate the probabilities for yes as well as no. This is the given input. We need to understand the probability of having yes and the probability of having no. Whichever wins, that is what is the result that we can take. Okay. So when fever is high, what is the fever that has given? Sorry, when fever is equal to low, what is the probability of having the disease? When fever is low, the probability of having the disease is 0.33. That's what is this. And when fever is low, what is the probability that the patient doesn't have fever? It is 0.667, right? Similarly, when tiredness is there, so what is tiredness is there? And what is the probability of having yes? It is 0.714. And when tiredness is there, the probability of having no is 0.286, right? So just and hence apply all those things. And for S now, you multiply all the things, all the probabilities with the impact of the total probability, because we need to do it with P of X, right? Multiply it with P of X, and hence what is the total probability? It is for having the presence of corona, it is 6.63. That is the impact of the patients, okay, having corona disease, and hence multiply with that. And on the other case, the impact of the entire data set, the impact of the patient that who doesn't have the virus on the entire data set is 0.36. Okay, so for calculating, you should multiply that. Which is winning? So 0.087 is higher than 0.003, and hence the result is yes. Meaning that if a patient is coming with this history, we say he is infected with the disease. Okay, let's implement the same concept using sklearn library. Now, from sklearn.model selection, I have imported train test split. This is to divide your input dataset into training dataset and testing dataset, right? Then from sklearn.naivebase, you go and search this sklearn.naivebase. You can get to know what are the different classes that it supports, that I have imported. So instead of loading the data set from Kaggle or UCI or any repository, storing it back to our system, today I am going to show you how to load the data set, which is part of your sklearn itself. sklearn itself supports a list of data sets. From sklearn, import data sets. Iris dataset already we have seen in some example, that is available as a default dataset in sklearn. So iris is equal to datasets dot load iris of, okay, load underscore the dataset name. Okay, so this iris will have now, this is an object which will have all the values now. So I'm just printing its shape, the list of features. Okay, feature means all the column headers which it has, and what is the target values that it has, that is given by target underscore name. You can see the shape is 150 cross 4, so 150 rows and 4 different columns it is having. This is only the input attribute, not the output attribute. Okay, what are the input attributes? Sepal length, sepal width, petal length, and petal width. The output is supposed to be setosa, versicolor, and Virginia, right? So I'll just execute. Okay, having known the different attributes and the output column, now we will load that into X and Y, which is nothing but the arrays which is going to store the values of input attribute and the output attribute. Okay, load iris is the function because it will load the iris data set. What it will return is nothing but two different outputs. One is having the list of all input values along with its attributes in the form of a matrix. Y is nothing but a vector which will be returned. Okay, so now these two has to be passed to the train test split function. What is the ratio in which we are going to split? Test size is equal to 0.2, meaning that training data will be 0.8, so 80/20. So you can even split. Now I'll make it to 0.25. So that is also possible. Random state is equal to 0. You can explore this random state. It takes lot many values to ensure whether randomness should be there. Okay, so while splitting the train test column. In order to understand this completely, we need to understand both random state as well as shuffle. Okay, both the things we need to understand. Now, once having done this, let us print. You can see since we have total 150 divided in the range of 75/25, you have 112 rows and 38. 38 as your test output. Okay. Now we are planning to use categorical naive Bayes and hence we are creating an object for that. Then again the procedure is very simple using sklearn. cnv.fit, we are going to fit between x underscore train and xy underscore train because that is the variable names we have used here, x underscore train, y underscore train. Then this testing array has been passed for predicting the values. Just I'm printing it, I'll just execute. You can see the number of misspelled points out of the test point is 1. Okay, so as usual, the accuracy, the matrix that is used for a classification algorithm is accuracy and the confusion matrix. So we run the accuracy, you can see to be 0.89. Okay, 89% it is accurate. And the confusion matrix, you can see it is a 3/3 matrix. Why? There are 3 class labels in the output column and hence it is 3/3. Okay, so that is what is the implementation. If you want to use Gaussian naive Bayes, just categorical has to be replaced with Gaussian and hence. Okay.